All right, you guys. Good morning. I look a total fright, but I've never been one to spend time in front of the mirror, so I'm out walking my dog, and I'm very happy that I don't know if that came out, but I'm very happy that he's been recovering. I took him off of gradually off of steroids, and bought pumpkin, something or other pumpkin to put in his food, and he slept. I think the lack of steroids last night allowed him to sleep, and all of a sudden, I mean, he's elderly, as you know. Man, I don't want to look at myself, so excuse me for my appearance. I want to give you a quick update on a few things, and just thoughts. For Vansi and everyone, the meetings in New York have gone very well, and I think they are mostly related to Finger, but I would not discount that the meetings could also involve logic and go logic. And for those of you that might inflame passions one way or the other. All right, let's hurry, Lucky. I had to focus on getting across the street. Didn't want him to collapse. We should all acknowledge that Brent Sun, of the CEO of Logic, and for the time being Go Logic, made the introduction to FingerMotion of these large investors that might be the might be the final straw on the camel's back to the Lind Partners. So I do want to, so let me re-emphasize that the meetings in New York went very well yesterday. I don't think they're over with. I think there's going to be more today, and maybe into the night. But anything further that I would say would be speculation. But the feedback I received is these meetings probably couldn't have gone any better. And, I wouldn't want to be Lind Partners right now. It's going to be a long weekend. Now, let me say something on that. Jeff Easton and his sidekick, Philip Vallier, and their two innocent sweethearts, Sam Chung and Hai Lee Kim, and then their black sheep of the wealthiest Australian family, I think his name is John Howard. Yeah, I think it's John Howard. It might be John Hancock. Anyway, you can look him up on the website as a senior advisor. These people are engaged in massive criminal fraud. Now, apparently, how they live with themselves is, and I think it was Jeff Easton, explained that, we don't short the stocks. In the case of Finger, we syndicated the bond, and we syndicated it to 4 other buyers. Well, this goes along with what I think Jeremy Frommer said, and not directly to me, but he thought there was no way that Jeff Easton was smart enough. And I agree with that. I don't think this guy's smart at all. he's just a punk, to know how to short stocks and trade. These guys are fronts. They're trained to do this. They get a bounty, I'm sure, and that's where they're going to get caught out. When the RICO charges come, the payments to Jeff Easton, to John Howard, the wealthiest family, and his mother is the wealthiest person in Australia. What the hell is he doing associated with criminals? You lie down with fleas, dog with fleas, you wake up with fleas yourself. But, uh-oh, Lucky, we can't walk on that, I don't think. All right, sorry. So, the way Jeff Easton can live with himself is he lies to himself, saying, oh, we're not shorting. We're just, there's a lot of noise in the city. A lot of noise in the city. We just put the deals together and then we syndicate them out. So we're not the bad guys. Everyone listening on here, and I hope it's maybe one person in authority can hear it. This is a criminal enterprise. Jeff Easton knows what he's doing. And these toxic convertible notes are set up so that they have 2 or 3 things about them. One, they typically do not give you all your money up front. I don't remember the specifics in the finger trade. But they give you your own money. They sell stock they don't own, that doesn't exist, prior to signature, and then they give you that money. Now, I talked to somebody yesterday that we talked for an hour, and he's a great guy, smart, honest, and he has knowledge of the American Stock Exchange in particular. He is old. I don't know how old he is, but like me, we're older. I think we remember a different time when regulations were followed, when there were compliance officers in-house, when the trading was in-house. This is all done by renegades now. And so the first thing these criminals do, you get a Jeff Easton to put the toxic note together, which provides a backstop. What they recognize is that when you sell Gary Gensler shares that don't exist, of companies, you can control your own destiny. And if you cooperate with other criminals, you can drive the share price down. You can make it impossible for good companies in America to get up off the floor, even with good stories. You get someone like Jeff Easton to smile and lie to CEOs saying, we're going to be with you. Every single company, I think except Bragg, but that it's coming for Bragg like hell comes for breakfast. Every company that Lind Partners and Benchmark referred Finger to Lind Partners gets destroyed. So that one of the characteristics is that they give you your own money, so to speak, if a CEO is watching. They just sell stock illegally, but hey, they're going to cover. They got the market maker exemption. Why do we need this? Why do we protect this behavior in the United States? What kind of fantasy land are we living on? So anyway, that's one of the characteristics. They give you your own money. You can't raise money in the over-the-counter markets, so they'll do it for you and destroy your company. They sell the stock before you sign the agreement, and then they're just giving you your own money, diluting your stock. And then secondly, they have these toxic formula that they create, that Jeff Easton was taught how to do. And Apparently he's lucky we have the picture that we put up of him, because he's ballooned out in size. I assume because of his guilty conscience, he has to eat at night and drink. But anyway, they create these toxic formula, which is a tranche, or it's a looking back VWAP. But the feature that matters to the 4 groups that they syndicate the stock out to is that there's a huge slug of shares sitting at a transfer agent. So if, for example, Finger in this specific case got out of control to the upside, like it did, I'm going to forget when, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, it went to 17, or almost a year ago, it went to 9. They have a way of covering shares, and covering their naked shares, their illegally sold shares. Well, these may not cover everything, but it allows them with confidence to continue to sell Gary Gensler shares, non-existent, phantom, break the law, break the rules of the Security Acts of 1933 and 34. They can do it without any worry, and particularly if they just never let up and their friends help them. It is a criminal exercise. And then the third sort of feature that's in all of these is that if you fall off the NASDAQ, or if you fall off the OTCQB, or if you fall off whatever exchange you're on, that becomes a default. I forget. I'm not a lawyer. It becomes a default event. And the CEO, trying to do the right thing, reverse splits their stock. Well, what this does to the 4 groups who the financing for Finger was syndicated to, well, they have various, the gentleman I spoke with, I'm sorry, there's so much noise, I'm raising my voice. The gentleman I spoke to at length, he points out that it's difficult to short shares. You need to have money in the account, and you know all this. Well, there is a large requirement of maintaining capital when you don't deliver shares. But if you do a reverse split, just to keep it simple, just in a very basic example, if they've sold 100 million shares and they have to keep $2.50 a share in the account or more, they call it they have to keep 500 million in the accounts. If they can get a reverse split of 1 for 10, all of a sudden they just need to keep 50 million in the accounts, and they can take the rest out. They can transfer it, go kill another company, and that's financially. And here, Lucky, let's just wait here. And they don't pay taxes. Why does Congress support this? Gary Gensler supports it because it's good for Goldman Sachs. But why do we support this as a group? All right, let's get off of that subject. I wanted to tell you that Finger, if you are in Finger or considering buying Finger, or know somebody in that situation, I think the time for the shorts, those 4 syndicated groups, is their very existence is in question. And I think the buildup of buying pressure over the last, 6 weeks to 10 weeks is going to crescendo soon. And so I wouldn't dally on that trade. This is already 14 minutes, so let's just make this one about Finger and the Lind Partners. I get so worked up at the criminals at Lind Partners. They're so smug and they're so full of themselves, but they're just organized stealers. And the thing is, no one on Wall Street would hire these guys. They probably are married because they have money, but it's not because of their good ethics or their integrity. And if I had any advice to John Hancock, get out while your reputation is intact. You don't want your mother to disown you. All right, so let's just finish on Finger. We know that there's been buying over the last months. The stock is up off of the $1.44, which I think that was the low. This is organized criminal selling by shorts, which, you know, Gary Gensler doesn't care about it. Goldman loves it, so it must be okay. But they're about to get their comeuppance. The amount of shares, according to Tom Ronk, that were short in Finger 3 years ago was about 5 or 6 million shares. When the stock went on the NASDAQ and it met its milestones, obviously to Gary Gensler, this is a cleansing thing. Well, there's tremendous management at Finger. Great team. And they have a fundamental story that you can buy a company at venture capital levels or even pre-venture capital levels that is already established in China over the last 8 years, has great alliances with the top 3 telecoms. It's in 3 to 5 to even 6 of the most attractive channels in I don't know what to call it, mobile technology or data, big data. Look at Snowflake. Finger is a miniature snowflake. And SNOW. Big data. Their revenues are exploding upwards because of the ability to buy discounted minutes and resell those top-up minutes into the Chinese market. And what's coming as the 5G is rolling out is this, what do you call it? RC, rich content. Text messaging, which includes videos and all that. This is a huge area for business to contact customers in China. No one in China uses cash anymore. You pay everything by phone. So the big prize is going to be, as they move into their phase 2 with Pacific Re and Munich Re, to monetize and create revenue from data. But as they get into insurance, providing insurance for the whole suite of insurance: car, automobile, fire, health, life. This is huge in China. You know, I don't have to tell you how many people are there, and it's the world's second largest economy. And then finally, as 5G rolls out, people are going to be buying new phones. And in China, included in the cost of the phone and in the cost of subscription plans is, for lack of a better term, Apple Care. Finger acts as a go-between between their customers and the buyer, and they will get 25% of that cash. That's high margin, and it's coming soon. So Jeff Easton and John Hancock are part of a criminal enterprise. Maybe they're on the edge. They can say, hey, we didn't do anything. And then those four groups who Jeff Easton syndicated the finger financing to are definitely criminal. And I think the SEC has to take a look in the mirror, and Gary Gensler should reflect on what the heck he's doing. These people are ruining lives, companies, towns, and in the case of Finger, the fighting back has just begun. And I think it's now. And by now, I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if it's today, Monday, or in 2 weeks, or in 2 months. But in terms of the fight, it's now. And because it's been going on now, the attacks on Finger have been going on for years. And if anyone at the SEC or someone is listening, you're saying, well, they're looking at the company and the shorts, they're really smart, and they realized that it got overpriced and they needed to raise capital, so they see an opportunity to sell the stock down. How is it that every single company in the over-the-counter market, every company that Lind Partners finances, gets destroyed? Is every single CEO corrupt? Is every single team unable to fill out their business plan? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's why this crime works. They sell Gary Gensler shares, which don't exist in every company, and then it makes it impossible for the company to finance themselves. This is the market scenario, which Gary Gensler proudly told Congress, I was sitting there, that we have the world's deepest, most transparent, and I don't know if he said honest or integrity, markets in the world. Well, I pity the rest of the world. But Finger's about to fight back, and big time. On the short side, if George Bush, W. Bush, were here, he'd say this sucker is going down. On the long side, our side, we are about to have a victory. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm sorry my voice got raised. Partly I'm so agitated by the smug, arrogant Jeff Easton and how he can so easily elide his responsibility and his crimes. But also the noise is so loud in the city. We've got people everywhere now, and which is good. Here's a puppy dog. Hey, big puppy. Hi, big puppy. Hi, big puppy. Hi, big puppy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Those are the important parts, huh? Those are the important parts. Thank you. It's a beautiful dog. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. You know, I will say that I always think about when I get worked up, it's not fair to you. So I've got to either get a co-host or do better, right? So anyway, Finger. This doesn't mean the other stocks aren't good, but I think Finger is at the point that if you wanted to own it or you do own it, what you want to own it for and what you own it for is coming. And what a sweet dog. Oh boy. All right, so we'll talk later. I'll do another video.